Do you think the market's response to the proposed tariffs were expected by the administration, or would you guys say it was easily predictable that this would be the severity of the response?
I would have predicted it. I bet the person at Kinko's that made that chart got online and bought some puts on the market, because that's not what anyone was expecting. We were expecting either unilateral or 3 tiers. Like, we had a bunch of different things that seemed reasonable and that the market was expecting. And the market had been going down for months in anticipation of it. And then when we saw those actual numbers, they just seemed so far-fetched and out of reality that the market did exactly what it needed to do.
The reason why the freak out happened is because those numbers don't actually exist in real life, so no one could be anticipating them, right? Even if your worst case scenario was we're going to match every tariff in the world, that would have been the worst case scenario, right? Like,
or even reciprocal tariff, even double the actual tariff around the world.
So there is no scenario that any rational person or investor would have run through to say, you know what, we're going to come out and put tariffs on the world that are like 5 to 7 times what they are in every country. Like that was never in anyone's game plan. That's why the market freaked out.
So do you think the market drop is appropriate given the tariffs that were suggested? Or do you think that the market is completely irrational right now because the tariffs are not real to begin with, that those could never be implemented, so everything is a big overreaction?
I think the latter. Everything is an overreaction, but people are concerned about instability. So it's not just the tariffs, it's about how do we get here? How do we even allow that to happen? And what's going to happen next? And how does the rest of the world think about the United States right now? The bigger concern is what plans are now being made to circumvent the U.S. in any way possible, because you can't trust us. That's the concern. So the concern is, if we did that, what are we going to do next? Can you trust us, or should you start making moves, no matter where you are in the world, to try to not be reliant on the U.S. because you never know what we're going to pull?
Is that priced into the market? What do you guys think?
I think, the market is pretty good at pricing things in. This is just a weird scenario because it is so bizarre that the market doesn't know how to really price it in.
By the way, this is, as an investor, let's be honest, like, unless you're like retirement age, this is what you wish for. This is what you wish for. Yes, it is. Especially you. You're like half my age. You should be dreaming. You should be dreaming about scenarios like this.
So if you lose 20%, you need to gain something like 35% just to break even.
Graham, this is where you make all of your money over the course of 20 or 30 years. This is the dream scenario for every investor.
And I feel like
for the market to drop.
We played COVID so well, and I feel like we missed the boat on this one.
Well, we missed what do you mean we missed the boat? We didn't hedge hard enough.
We weren't hedging.
Okay, but
we weren't double dip hedging our entire portfolios the way we were when we saw COVID, because COVID was like, okay, we see it coming, and we knew that the market, there's no reason the market could go up because this terrible thing is coming, and it made sense.
But
the tariff situation,
Dave, we're old. We don't work anymore. We don't have a regular income. If I was 25 or 30 and I had a monthly income and I had the ability to invest 10 or 20 or 30% of that monthly income, which everyone should be doing, this is the dream. You hope this stays like this for a year or two. Like, this is where you make your money. This is it, guys. Like, how do you not like this? How?
Because in January, I put all of my money in.
All of your money? Do you make any money a month?
I do, but I have a tax bill coming up. And so I'm going to be...
So the timing's not optimal for you? Fine. But hopefully it stays like this for a while.
If it stays like this for a while, then I'm okay. But I don't know. The problem was just back in January, I was like, okay, I've built up my savings. And then I was like, okay, let me just kind of dump it all. And so I bought a bunch, and then I nearly fully depleted it. And then we took a distribution off the podcast. So I had some cash, and then I finished putting that in. Then the tariffs hit, and I have a tax bill. So I'm basically pretty thin right now in terms of how much I can invest.
We joked about this even before the tariffs. As soon as Jack went all in, we were joking and be like, "Oh yeah, that's the peak."
Actually incredible. I cannot believe it because I'm not superstitious at all, and I've mentioned this on the podcast. This is nearly the final straw in terms of like how is it every single time that.
First of all, I'm buying your dinner tonight, okay? So you can just relax a little bit.
That's okay. We got a company card, you know.
But all right, short-term painful. It is. I get that.
I'm not even looking at my portfolio. I'm probably down so much money.
Can I look at it?
You're going to have a reaction, and I prefer not to.
You know, the feeling you get when these things happen, it is disheartening. Your heart drops, and it feels so bad when you're an investor to see your account down 20, 30, 40%, 50%. I've seen it multiple times. I've seen my account down 60, 70% in my life. And you always look back a year later and you go, God, I wish I just had the balls to hang in there and not sell or invest more. There's not one time in my life going through 5 market crashes that I haven't looked back a year later. And the snapbacks are always so much quicker than you anticipate them to be, right? Every single time. But think about it this way, guys. We are at the impetus of what is likely to be the largest productivity leap in the history of mankind the next 5 to 8 years, ever. Okay. I don't think there has ever been a better time to be an investor with capital to deploy into markets. And it's because of the productivity leap we're about to see, mainly through AI and embodied AI and automation and robotics. This is going to benefit the world, I believe, in a huge way. And I'm so excited to be in capital markets right now and to have this gift. Yeah. It's a gift.
To have all of that on the horizon and to have a market crash right before it.
It's almost a dream.
Yeah.
And I just want this market to stay here for like 60 days.
Yeah.
Just stay here for 60 days because every dollar that I get is going into this market. Yeah. Stocks that I loved 2 months ago are half price.
Yeah.
Half price. And I'm just like,
now, what do you think about
the big five?
The warning from like Vanguard and Buffett and Charlie Munger that we might see lower than average returns over the last decade. And they've been saying this since really 2021. And they've warned investors that, you know what, sure, you've gotten about 10% a year, but I believe over the next 1 to 2 decades, it's likely to be about 4% a year, 3% a year. What are your thoughts on that?
I try to stay away from macro predictions. I'm not great at them. I don't really care what the market does. I think there will be big winners the next decade, right? So as long as I could predict who those big winners are, and I think I know who they are.
Yeah.
So
the S&P average might not perform the next 5 years as good as it did the last 5 years. Who knows, right? But if you pick the right stocks, you're going to outperform the S&P.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Buffett, and I have so much respect for Buffett. Like, he's one of my favorite people in the world, but he essentially missed the entire technology cycle, right? Buffett could be a multi-trillionaire right now easily if he would have just put a small piece of his portfolio into technology during the technology boom of the early 2000s. So macro stuff is hard. That's all I'm saying. It's hard for me. It's hard for Buffett. It's hard for everyone to predict macro because there are too many variables and the world is constantly evolving and changing in ways that we never would have anticipated. So whenever you hear someone making macro predictions, they're making them assuming that the world stays relatively consistent with the way that it's been during their lifetime. I'm telling you that we're about to see a radical shift in technology driven mainly by artificial intelligence, where nobody could really predict how the next 10 years is going to go and how it's going to look. The one thing that I do know is that productivity, I think, will skyrocket